Hello everyone, happy Saturday. Happy full moon, happy Aquarian full moon. Woo! Also, I have had a note from Gigi by the Sea, who is reminding us that today is Virginia Roberts Giuffre's, Virginia Giuffre's, try saying her name, Virginia Giuffre's birthday. So she's holding a vigil for her peace and justice on this full moon, and she's hoping that others in our community here will join in and spread the word as well. Spread the word. Okay, so Tweaker Taco, Don the Election Con, Diarrhea, Liarrhea, Diluted, Demented, Don Cornholio. What is your Don Cornholio, who's in a, according to South Park, a special relationship with Satan? Okay. Health and physical happenings at him today, Saturday, August 9th. Phew. Okay. So the forces in motion for the entire day, we have the Nine of Wands reversed, and on the health level, this is liver and gout problems, high blood pressure. You know, he's just a raging ball of nastiness. And yeah, you know, you guys keep commenting, I love it, about he's rotting from the inside. And he is. It's true. His hate, the hatred that he pushes out from his... So the liver in Chinese medicine is the seat of anger. And I got that clearly even before I knew about Chinese medicine back in the 80s when I was sitting in a CPR class. And this wonderful firefighter was doing the pre-speech thing or whatever, the education about what causes heart problems. And oh my goodness, he was so bored and he was boring, but he gave the best information, and it clicked in for me where he said that the liver pushes out bile, right? And then my mind just clicked to like, oh yeah, that dark hatred kind of bile when the heart's closed and things are filtering, because the liver is the main filter in the body, right? Between the liver and the kidneys, that's what we have. So, but for him, all he's doing, and then I also know spiritual law, which has to do with like wherever a person is, wherever their consciousness is open and wherever we're in truth, then our life force, our energies just move harmoniously with the universe. But the reverse is true, like where we're unconscious and we haven't worked through our stuff, and where we're actually moving towards lies, constant lies, and pushing that out. And he does it because of his hate. Then all of his energy, his life force, that's why I always read this card as the forces in motion, because it's a person's life force. Why it's all, working against him. His life force is inverted and it works against him. So lovely, right? Now, finally, I'll get to the meaning of the Nine of Swords reversed, and because it's the moon in Sag, working in the wrong direction, there's this, being on edge and defensive instead of just putting out the truth and saying intuitively what you feel and being, headed towards the forces of love in alignment with the forces of love. No. He does the opposite. So he alienates everyone. He's really stubborn and, just constantly like on the defense and paranoid. So there you go. When it comes to health, it's just, you'll feel better soon. Yeah, no, I don't think so. Maybe for a day, maybe for an hour. He's always in pain. Okay, the Two of Swords coming through in the challenge position. I have to read it as a reversal, so let me turn it around so that you can get the meaning. This is my card for drugs. This is a card of lies. Lies being exposed, though. It's also sometimes at the lower levels just a card of indecision and delaying things, but he delays things for his nefarious purposes. He's a two-faced liar. That's one way to look at this card. Because the moon in Libra. So Libra is one of those most beautiful signs that loves to be social and connect with others. But when it's worked in the darkness, it's like you're connecting. Whoever this person is in his life is connecting with him just to get what he wants from him. And he's doing it too. He does it too. This is his karma, of course. But it's like the mutual usury society kind of thing. It's just not good. So, keywords for this card have to do with two-faced lying and cheating, and most of all, the lies exposed and an overwhelming, amount of information coming out. The antennas are they're not up into the heavens. Well, I guess nowadays we could say, yeah, up to the internet where everything comes down, but whatever it is comes down into the earth now. And, it is the full moon day, even though it's not in Libra. It's still full moons and, full moons are the opposite of the new moon. So we've got the sun on one side, the moon on the other. And things get revealed, right? There's that reflection back from the past. So, Epstein, that issue's not going away. Oh, goodness. Okay, so in the morning, he's definitely not in his own authority with the number 4 Emperor, Major Arcana Emperor. And yeah, here we are with more of the bad news hitting the ground. Ooh, doggies. Okay, let's just focus here one at a time. Otherwise, it gets to be an overwhelming amount of art. Okay, so with the Emperor reversed, this is his issues with his father that he never could live up to, probably, but he still was the prize and joy, whatever. Anyway, this is, when it comes to his body, because of all of his domination and because of his rigidity in his mind and his wanting to control everything, we're talking rigidity in the body here. So also, because there's so much red in the card, this is our clue that this is about his blood, and it's Mars and Aries. So this card has to do with being accident prone. So rigidity that makes him like jerk around here and there. He does. We've seen that. He does do that. Now, on another level, because here we have paranoia and here we have two-faced liars, working with him, somebody might kind of flip on him a little bit and let something out with this Eight of Wands. Something's hitting the ground, because the Emperor card reverse can be, it can be injuries. It can absolutely, because it's Mars and Aries, be all about war and fights and struggles and, again, all this anger. So we sure have a lot of fire energy, fire and air so far with these cards. And that's him. He is pretty much a bloviating bag of hot air. When you look at his astrology chart, that's pretty much what it is. A little bit of water. I think pretty much zero grounding in Earth. Yeah, there's not. Now I think about it. Maybe with asteroids if you use those, but whatever. So, anywho, he could be having trouble with his jaw. I'm thinking TMJ at night. He might be waking up, grinding his teeth and going, ugh, you can crack a crown that way. You can crack a tooth that way. You can crack molars and then get infections underneath or abscesses underneath. So, Yeah, and I know he's got a good set of veneers going on, but whatever. He's having trouble with his blood, his neck, his jaw, muscles. Yeah. Okay, so, and maybe problems, old emotional problems with his dad that he wakes up thinking of. Maybe his dad is kind of haunting him, because his dad didn't seem to me like a kind of guy that would just naturally cross over into the light. He might still be hanging out. He might still be earthbound. Or a lot of his energy. His spirit, actual spirit would never be, but his soul could definitely be. So, okay, with the, oh, goodness, I'm so sorry. Kitty time. I forgot kitty time. How could I forget to talk about that? Hello to all the kitties. Hello, Balders out there. I know Balder's there. Balder, I should say. So, or maybe it's Balders. You have to let me know. Balder's space is what I see. But it could be both, right? So with Eight of Wands, like I said, Mercury, so messenger, Sag, messages going really fast, lots of hot, fast-moving energy, hitting the ground because it's upright. So this is a lot of speed and action. This could be him getting on Air Force One and going to one of his resorts. Could be that early in the morning. There's that possibility. But it's not easy for him, and he maybe has to be there for some reason. Maybe he's got another stupid golf tournament he's going to cheat out. Who knows, right? I mean, what they put out on what he's doing for the day is not always true, and then they lie, and they're saying they weren't having a meeting to talk about Jeffrey Epstein, and then they did later in the evening last night. So there's that. So they're just the whole pack of them are just a bunch of liars. That's probably why we have the Two of Swords reversed, or coming in the challenge. Lie, lie, lie. They all lie. And then they have to defend against it. So when it comes to health and the Eight of Wands, it's not reversed, so I can't say that he's having a lot of headaches and breathing problems, or a fall and some injury, But there is injury here, and maybe I'm wrong, or it was just a bad card flop, and that is what happens in the morning. There's that possibility. Oh, yeah. Or maybe just kind of a trip up the stairs to Air Force One with the Nine of Swords reversed here. My goodness, that's pretty tricky, right? Because there's our headaches, there are our migraines, and definitely his obsessive compulsive disorder. This is also a card of falling down the stairs or tripping up the stairs. His mind's working overtime. Maybe he's thinking he can nap on the plane if he goes anywhere. Or this could be, it might not be Air Force One, it may be, what do you call, Marine One, the helicopter, right? Yeah. So, okay. There's that. Then we've got the devil. Oh, no. Yep. South Park Satan. But when it comes to reversed, this is him gaslighting and projecting and trying to believe in his own lies, but he probably does by now because he's got Alzheimer's, right? I mean, he's got the frontal temporal dementia or Alzheimer's. I don't know which it is, but his brain ain't working right. It's just not. So this is on the health level, needing to take time off, but he doesn't. It's also a card for numbing out constantly. There's just a major chronic problem with that. It's also sometimes a card of just being really unhappy with life, and you're like trapped in your own vicious circle of control and darkness and bondage and addiction. But when I see this card for him or anybody famous come through reversed, I see it as his health, his bad health, is affecting his the way the public views him. So there you go. And he's trapped in that, that spiral of a lot of bad choices for his entire lifetime. It comes to, eating, drugs, food, all of that. Lying, constantly lying is a choice, right? Constantly closing your heart is a choice. Okay, then in the evening we have the Wheel of Fortune. So he is making some choices. Okay, we'll see what that is about. To what? Get some water in him because he's dehydrated? Maybe he finally realizes he can't just keep drinking Diet Coke. I wonder. That's interesting. There's something, though, that has him feeling. So with the Wheel of Fortune, it's a turning point that could lead to some kind of change. It also is a card that, because it's Jupiter, it rules the liver, but it also rules the sacrum, lower back, sacroiliac joint. That's interesting. It's also a card of karma. So it's his karma to eventually feel something. But maybe it's his karma that lies are being exposed about the fact that he does drink alcohol. I'm just saying maybe. I don't know for sure. Oh, something about stealing and something about greed. Where's that 10 of... No, okay. It's reversed anyway. So, 7 of Swords. Lies, spies. Somebody's got a savvy strategy, I guess, but it can also just be a very stealthy kind of a deception. And whatever it is, what? I think it has to do with the stock market crash. He has made, another way to read these 4 cards here. So earlier in the evening, it could be his choice to go forward and go towards what he wants. And what he wants is to win at all costs. So of course he would steal. And then we've got the stock market crash going on. It might be revealed that he has done some short sales or just, the pump and dump kind of thing. Or in his case, it would be dump and pump. Dump from the, with the tariffs, the market goes down. All of he and his cronies, they're in the market, heavily invested in the stock market. And, cyber, all that, or not cyber, but what do you call it? Bitcoin and stuff like that. But anyhow, heavily invested, greedy. When it comes to health, ankles, swelling, or maybe it's a procedure to get the ankles to release something, but it puts him down with the 4 of Pentacles there. But back to the stock market, the stock market goes down, and then that's the chance for all the rich people to buy up a bunch of cheap stocks or buy more at a cheaper rate. And then he'll announce something later, and then everything will go back up. That's his game. That's right here. That's all of this here. That's that. And everybody's seeing that. And they're all seeing how crazy he is. So let's see what's at the bottom of the foundation. Yeah. 7 of Cups, just, creating the diversion, shell game, pushing things around. What do I want now? So I'll take this one because it's cheaper now, and I'll buy a whole bunch there. It's that. It's the stocks, because it's Venus and Scorpio. right? It's going for what you want, and then Scorpio, until it's healthy, just keeps going for more and more and more until things come back. So back, as an experience, there can be a lot of intensity. But Scorpio is one of my favorite signs, so I would never put a Scorpio down. I wouldn't put any sign down, actually. I never would. Because everyone has the power to use to use the energy however they choose. So, okay. Strength reversed shows weakness. It shows a lack of courage, a lack of patience, a lack of control. Of course, we know he has no compassion. So these are like two overriding cards for the day. And so I'm thinking, he might have a little more time to listen to the news and know what's going on. And I think that it's really got him going by noontime or, midday, whatever that is for him. And I think people are turning on him. His own base plus people that are close to him, and they're all being seen as a bunch of liars. And man, and then with Seven of Cups, when it comes to health, it's straight up. So I can't say too much about, he's not out of options, but this has him using his options. And he's never going to try and get under that veil of illusion and go into his spirit. That's not who he is. So that's why he's weak. These two cards here are pretty much what I was talking about in the beginning when I felt into that card, is that wherever, a person's consciousness is open in truth and in harmony, according to, because if you're in truth, you're in love. If you love healthy, you're in truth, you'll find the truth. If you're in the truth, like truth and love is one, then you'll also be in alignment and you'll be in harmony. But that's not him. So that's what this is all about. It's like all systems working against him. I'm surprised I don't have the Temperance card again. But what I keep feeling is that he's getting little procedures. He has the gift of having, the White House little medical center, and then he has the same thing. I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't have them set up at each one of his, like Bedminster and Doral and Mar-a-Lago, of course. But also, he has the blessing of having those little mini medical centers, not only just in Air Force One, but also Marine One. And they even have like ramps where he can go down in the back and he doesn't have to do the stairs. So, yeah. I would imagine that there are lots of news photographers, videographers on him all the time, watching him go, on and off the plane, because everybody is looking to see his health deteriorate, and he's doing it on the public stage, which is what I've always said. He needs to be able to humble himself in this lifetime, and the only way he can do that is to feel some humiliation. But he doesn't do that. Instead, he gaslights everyone else. He just goes into projection. When he's afraid, he makes everybody else try to be afraid and weak. It's what he's going after. Letitia James. Can you believe that? I mean, this is not good. He's going after everybody. He's on his revenge tour. So he is making enemies everywhere he goes. Meanwhile, lots of distraction from the EPS files, right? Or the EPS records, EPS servers. So, okay, I'm done. Hello, let's send lots of love to the kitties out there, and take a deep breath, let go. Oh, okay. And much, much love to Virginia Guiffre. Bye, everyone.